And every step we take together.
Using AI, we can reduce waste and produce more food.
What we do is about more than technology.
When it's reading, I see spaces between the words.
It's about the people who use it.
No matter how their body is, everyone can play.
It's about...
Ela está provocando uma transformação brutal, uma transformação sem precedentes. Isso está acontecendo agora. Nós não vamos falar de futuro. A dinâmica das organizações e até a economia dos países. Sim, trazer de volta para o Brasil o crescimento econômico e a competitividade que a gente perdeu nos últimos anos. A nossa capacidade, os nossos skills. E o nosso compromisso, e é um compromisso histórico, é democratizar a tecnologia e levando a inteligência artificial, levando acesso para todos à inteligência artificial. Isso é uma abertura para o aprendizado e uma crença que nós sempre podemos aprender mais, aberto à aprendizagem, que eu já sei tudo. Então, essa mentalidade de crescimento, somados à nossa abertura e ao nosso ambiente diverso e inclusivo, faz com que a Microsoft se mantenha como uma empresa inovadora e tem o tema de transformação digital no topo das prioridades, permitindo que a gente ajude os nossos clientes nessa transformação.
What technology can mean to Brazil and Brazil's growth and impact across the economy and society. And that's what I want to talk about this morning. When computing is getting embedded in the real world, it's not separate anymore from what's happening in every walk of life, in every industry, and broadly across our economy and society, right? So you see it in every place, whether it's at your work or at your home, in a stadium or in a factory, across every industry, whether it's oil and gas. Now, in order for all of us collectively to harness the power of this technology, what we need is tech intensity, but it also applies to countries. Our success of Brazil will depend on getting this one simple formula right. How quickly can every institution, every organization inside of Brazil really get commodity technology input, right? The latest and greatest digital technology as a factor of production is input, and then to go on to build new and additional technology. And this is what grounds us at Microsoft. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. These are not just a set of words for us. They give us daily meaning in terms of what we do, the products we build, how we show up in the marketplace. We think about people. We think about institutions people build, in many cases to even outlast them. We think about the global scale. In this context, we think about what is the impact that what we do is having in Brazil. And perhaps the most important aspect by all of you in Brazil using this technology, whether it's a small business becoming more productive, whether it's public sector becoming more efficient, a large multinational out of Brazil becoming more competitive globally. How is technology impacting the educational outcomes, the health outcomes in the local economy and the local society? Build their own independence with Microsoft. That's how I think about our participation. And automation, data and AI, as well as applications and infrastructure. These are the four core solutions that we are building. And of course, they're all reinforcing this intelligent cloud, intelligent edge platform. But the most important aspect of what we want to achieve is to help drive the digital transformational outcomes of the smallest of businesses to the largest of companies, how they engage their customers, how they optimize their operations, how are they changing the very nature of their businesses and products. That's really ultimately the test of all of these solutions. Largest computer. In other words, we are building the world's computing fabric with Azure. We have over 54 global data center regions. We obviously have a region in Brazil that's growing in capacity. We have as much connectivity, right? If you measure the cables that we have between our various data center regions, you can go up to the moon and back 3 times. And so this represents tremendous compute capacity. But the other thing that we're also doing is making sure that the entire compute capacity is going to be carbon neutral. So the commitment to sustainably building out this data center footprint extends to the edge. Microsoft has perhaps the most comprehensive vision for how between Azure, Azure Stack, to Azure IoT, to something like Azure Sphere, is one distributed computing fabric. With consistency, as a developer, you can take everything that is represented here as one distributed computing fabric for you to build applications in retail, in manufacturing, in agriculture, in healthcare. It's super important to not think of just the cloud, but it's the cloud plus edge as infrastructure. The distinctive change possible across our economy. And Microsoft has been doing fundamental research and great core breakthroughs in AI. In fact, if you just look over the last couple of years, some of the transformative milestones are just amazing. If you think about it, just in 26, we then followed it up with the speech recognition human parity with the switchboard test in 2017. In 2018, we achieved the same with machine reading and comprehension, the SQUAD test, which is the Stanford Q&A test, which is for machine reading and comprehension. We achieved human parity. And then with machine translation, that's really what we have to celebrate, which is how do we democratize this AI? And that's what Azure AI is doing. Whether it's the machine learning tool chain inside of Azure or even the infrastructure. We have the best-in-class use of FPGAs for inference, GPUs for training, even compute infrastructure for you to be able to really take advantage of your own AI agents. In fact, for me, every brand out there, every business out there is going to have their own intelligent agent. This notion of the world having a few intelligent agents is going to be passé. That's not what we're going to remember in years to come. What we're going to remember is how, just like everybody builds a website or builds a mobile application, everybody is going to be able to build their own AI application, their own AI agent, whether it's speech first or whether it's text first. Our own AI infrastructure to enable the new way for work to happen, as well as new ways for business process to really become much more efficient. Factories, whether it's people as retail specialists, all to be equipped with technology so that they can fully participate in an increasingly digital economy. Because that's how the next level of productivity growth is going to come, is not to just think about people who are doing knowledge work, but all the work that happens, how is it being assisted with digital technology? And when we think about things like Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365, they're coming together as a tool set, as a platform for this modern work and business process with the best technology tools. Because without that, it's very hard to aim for any change to really take root. Now, I think all of you will recognize, and you know, the interesting thing about this institution is their need for flexible infrastructure that they need in order to be able to meet the peak demands that they have, right? So when they drones out, collect images of all of those fields, bring that imagery back, use the latest breakthroughs in computer vision to be able to really detect what type of harvest they're going to have, what type of fertilizer needs to be put in. In the past, they would have to do these manual soil inspections, whereas they've really automated that by just using drones and computer imagery and computer vision. I mean, it's so interesting to see. They've done a fantastic job of using, again, computer vision to tackle this challenge of falls inside of hospitals. In fact, something like 640,000 fatalities are traced organization in Brazil to come up with a fairly novel solution. Because what's the most important thing in a hospital, especially around something like this, which is sensitive use of computer vision and imaging, is privacy. And so the solution that they came up with is to make sure that the cameras and what they record is only being used to detect faults, accuracy of gait detection. As a therapist, your ability to administer physical therapy is going to be that much more efficient. And so that's what these institutions are doing. They're able to use technology to make the outcomes of physical therapy that much more real. So it's not just about the large businesses and large organizations. So it's a bakery with 4 stores. Now, it was fascinating, dependent on how efficiently can they coordinate something as simple as inventory. But the fact that they can do that has global reach. And one of the challenges has been, how can they make sure that they have something like 115,000 factory workers who never were issued computers or even cell phones, the manufacturing process, and in fact have access to all of the back office functions like HR. So they are one of the foundational needs for them has been how to get rid of these silos between the back office and the front office, especially the dealership network. How can it get connected in real time so that they can be true seamless operations across the entire enterprise? Technology is input and create that tech intensity across the broad swath of the economy and society. This is something that one has to earn every day. It's not just for us at Microsoft, but it's for each of us who's deploying technology. If you're deploying technology in a hospital, you're deploying technology in education, in a small business and a large business, you have to think about privacy. In fact, Brazil is at the forefront of ensuring that you treat privacy as a human right. You have data regulation around privacy. We are making sure that all of what we do in terms of our cloud and our applications are conformant to these laws and regulations so that every business can benefit. We are also ensuring through our transparency center right here in Brazil that we can ensure cybersecurity. Because if you think about cybersecurity, the biggest issue of cyber attacks is all about the impact felt by small businesses and privacy, security, transparency, inclusiveness, as well as accountability. These are design principles. Just like how in the past we taught developers and practitioners of software how to write secure code, we are going to have to do the same for every software developer who creates AI. Right? It's no longer about asking what can computers do. It is about asking that tough question of what should computers do. I had a chance to meet with our partners. One of the top questions that they were all asking was how can we ensure that across the labor market in Brazil, there are people with all of these cutting-edge skills so that we can then aspire to achieve the transformation that we all want to achieve. It's hard to reach. This is about making sure that technology is within everyone's reach, whether it's a student who's just about to graduate or whether it's somebody who is already in the workforce. Are we doing everything to make things like even AI skills available broadly? And so I had a chance to meet a young student who is in 7th grade named Isabella, and she's ready to be this person who can really pick up all of the AI skills needed to make a real difference going forward. To every organization and every individual in Brazil, as they do the hard work to push themselves to transform this society and this economy to prosper in this coming era, of digital technology. Thank you all so very much for being here and being such partners and customers of Microsoft, and I look forward to really hearing about many of your stories. Thank you.